Doctor! Doctor! Hey Most Amazing Top 10 family, I'm your host Che Rain and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Curses have been a thing since the written word. We always need something superstitious to worry about, but even if they seem like a bunch of hoopla, there have been a few that have seemed to be real, and that's why I'm bringing you today's list of top 10 curses that came true. Whether we're talking about curses that caused people to die, or that kept your favorite baseball team from winning a championship, we're going to cover it all. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also, stick around for the whole list because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you guys at home love so much. If you want me to shout out your pet, you can message me on Instagram. If any of you at home are looking for some more Most Amazing Top 10 content, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We are starting to do Facebook exclusive content. And for anyone who wants some merch, check out the link in the description below. Use the offer code MA10. That will give you $5 off, which means you can grab a shirt for 10 bucks, which is a sweet deal. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. At number 10, we have the Madden curse. Oh, a classic one. Madden is the largest football video game franchise in the world and has raked in an insane amount of money. Being associated with the game must be a great honor. In some ways, yes, and in other ways, no. Being on the cover of the game might get you tangled in the Madden curse. For a long time, every person who was on the cover of the game had something horrible happen to them. The cover guy wasn't a thing till 1999 when the game featured Garrison Hurts on its cover. On the following season, Hurts snapped his leg and that would leave him on the injury list for 2 years. Other people like Mike Vick were on the cover and didn't have something terrible happen to them right after the game was published, but remember how Mike Vick got busted for having a dog fighting ring and then went to prison? I mean, I guess that was kind of a blessing on our end and for all those poor dogs, and a curse for him. Since then, it seems like the curse has been broken. Tom Brady was on the cover of Madden 18 and lost the Super Bowl that year to the Eagles, but then came back and won it in 2019. So I guess you can say, like, you go to the Super Bowl the year you're on it, and then you win the next, yeah, it's broken. Or maybe not, maybe the next person sucks. At number 9, we have the curse of King Tut's tomb. Movies have turned mummies into mythical Egyptian creatures that are fueled with magic and have some sort of ability to control sand most of the time. But some of this fairy nonsense comes from the fact that people think that King Tut's tomb actually had a magical curse on it. At the entrance of the tomb, there was a message that read, "Death shall come swift on wings to those who disturb the peace of the king." Who would read something like that and think like, sure, yeah, I'm gonna go in there, who cares, who whatever. Well, what's the worst that can happen? Well, it will kill you 5 different ways. 4 people who walked into the tomb of King Tut died mysteriously within a year. And on top of that, the secretary of one of the guys who went into the tomb was found smothered. This could have been foul play. Maybe a rival Tomb Raider wanted them dead like in the Lara Croft games. Or maybe it was just coincidence. Or maybe the curse is real and should stay away from long lost tombs that have weird inscriptions on them telling you that you're gonna die if you go inside. At number 8, we have the curse of the BAMBINO. Babe Ruth is one of the best baseball players of all time and was originally supposed to be a Red Sox, but for whatever reason the owner didn't see any promise in him, and in 1919 he was traded to the Yankees. This would of course lead the Yankees to win a ton of future championships and leave the Red Sox begging for one. They didn't get one for 86 years. You could have been born a Red Sox fan and died a Red Sox fan from natural causes and have never seen them take it home. Oh my god, that would suck. This was called the curse of the BAMBINO, and since then it has been shattered. In 2004, the Red Sox pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in sports history, being down 3-0 in the series final, and they somehow found a way to bring it all back. It was actually glorious. I don't even like baseball, and I'm glad I was alive to watch it go down. It's pretty crazy. At number 7, we have the Unlucky Mummy board. That sounds like a terrible board game or something, or a weird porno, I don't know. The ancient artifact that has the image of an Egyptian woman on it is said to be hella cursed. People who would take pictures of it would have terrible things happen to them, and the pictures would have disturbing images on them. The board was said to have been sold from a museum to an American who might have taken it onto the Titanic. I mean, that's what the rumors say. I'm not sure if that's a fact or not. I just listen to the gossip and then I tell you guys the gossip like I'm a 13-year-old girl. It's my favorite thing. Well, we all know what happened on the Titanic.
But this ship can't sink.
Could you imagine being the guy who sold the board to the American dude and you knew it was cursed and you didn't tell him, and then you heard he went on the Titanic, and then you're listening to the horrible breakdown on the radio about the accident that killed all these people, and then the music from Curb Your Enthusiasm just starts playing behind you as you're like, dun, 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 dun. Like, oops. At number 6 we have the stolen artifact. If you're gonna steal something, just take some money or someone's time. You can do both by being a horrible boyfriend or girlfriend. Trust me, it's a lot easier than taking an artifact that might have an ancient curse on it. Sure, you can stuff that into your luggage, but what happens when you get home? Well, a German tourist had to find out the hard way. In 2004, he took a trip to Egypt, saw something shiny and took it home. It wasn't long after that that he started to feel ill. He got a fever, which turned into him being paralyzed, which turned into him going into a coma, which then left him dead. Terrified that this curse might affect his family, the dude's stepson brought the artifact back to the Egyptian embassy in Berlin and was like, here, take it, we don't want it. And then they sent it back to Egypt, I guess. But he was like, hey, my stepdad's dead, we're good. Okay, you guys can keep that one. We'll call it, this is a mulligan, we're even now. And number 5 is the curse of Come Abu Bilo. That's a fun one to say. Here's the thing about curses, you don't even need to get involved with them to have something happen to you. If someone you know gets cursed, it can screw up your life. That's why none of my friends are archaeologists. Zahi Hawass was excavating Come Abu Bilo's tomb, and the day he took stuff out of the tomb, his aunt died. 1 year later, on the exact same day, his uncle died. And then a year after that, another family member died on the same day. Hawass claims the curse is a myth, but it's easy not to believe when you're not the one dying. At number 4, we have Bubsy's chair. This is the thing I don't understand about curses. If you do something horrible and you're being punished for it, you don't then get to put a curse on something. You're being punished. You did something, you're getting what you deserve. Like, I don't get this. But whatever. Thomas Bubsy was one of those dads who had like a special chair and no one was supposed to sit in it. One day he came home from work and he saw his father-in-law sitting in the chair. So he did the sensible thing and he killed the man. I think you could say that's a bit of an overreaction. He was arrested and then sentenced to death. On his way to the electric chair, he said anyone who sits in his favorite chair would be dead soon after. And guess what? Anyone who sits in his chair has died. The chair sat in a bar for a little while during World War II, and every soldier who sat in the chair never made it back. Even regular people like a bricklayer fell to his death on the job. So don't mess with this dude's chair. Why couldn't Bubsy use his powers for good? Like, anyone who pollutes the ocean is dead. Like, come on dude, like think about the forethought or something. The BJORKETOP runestone's curse in Sweden. If you know some massive magic looking rocks that have a language scribbled on them that you don't understand, then maybe you should just leave them alone. This is one of Chaydorena's #1 rules. I don't believe in superstitious things, but I also don't mess with them. I'm in the just in case club. Like, when it comes to magic stuff, I'm like, yeah, take it away from me. I don't want anything to do with it. The BJORKETOP runestones are an ancient monument in Sweden that are said to be the gravesite of a powerful druid or magical thing, or just a regular gravesite, but something powerful is there. On these runestones are scribblings of a nearly lost language, and those scribblings read, I, master of the runestones, conceal here rune power, an incessantly maleficent insidious death to he who breaks this. Sounds pretty serious. Well, some dude couldn't read it, and he went to go burn the stones with a blowtorch so he could snap off a piece for himself, and a gust of wind blew the fire in his direction, caught his clothes on fire, and he screamed and burned to death. I think someone should install a sign with the English translation so that doesn't happen again. Maybe. It might be a good idea. At number 2 we have the curse of wrongful accusation. This story is upsetting in every angle. In November of 1981, Johnny Garrett was arrested for the rape and murder of a 76-year-old nun. Garrett had a history of mental disorders, and the press started painting him as a monster. Garrett denied all the accusations, and even though the evidence was stacked in his favor, he signed a confession which the police pressured him to sign. In 1992, he's sent to be executed, but before this happened, he sent out a letter cursing a ton of people. News anchors, all the lawyers, judges, jury members, like a lot of people, and guess what? 15 people bit the dust, most of them from disease, and a few of them were caught in strange accidents. Later it was found out that Garrett was innocent, but it was too late. And for the #1 spot, we have the curse of Timur's tomb. This is the place where the renowned tactician and violent leader Tamerlane was laid to rest. This was considered a holy site and should never be disturbed, and for hundreds of years it wasn't, partly out of respect, but also because Timur put a curse on his own tomb to make sure no one would ever mess with his remains. The curse said, whoever whoever opens my tomb shall unleash an invader more terrible than I, which is a pretty bold statement, seeing that Timur was responsible for killing 17 million people and had one of the largest empires in history. He was also one of the most feared men you could ever encounter, seeing as he was undefeated in battle and had dreams of restoring the Mongolian Empire. So who would dare to disturb his tomb? Well, Joseph Stalin. The mustached dictator dug him up, and not long after that, the Germans invaded Russia, which led to the death of 26 million people. Yikes, that was a mistake. Then after Stalin was getting brutalized, he had Timur buried in his tomb again, being like, please, please, please fix this whole problem. Well, and then we know how that war ended. The Germans ended up surrendering, and then Russia still stands, I mean Germany still stands, but it seems like the two are connected is what I'm saying. Alright everyone, that is our list, and as promised, I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts. If you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. I pick new pets every day, so if you don't get picked one day, message back another day. If it takes me a while to message you back, I'm very sorry. I literally have hundreds of messages to respond to. And without taking any longer, let's shout out some pets. Starting off this list, we have Holly's dogs, Ozzy and Eli. They are a couple of snuggle buddies. I love it so much. Jesse sent in Dewey. Look at that little puppy's face. Love it. Okami sent in Rocky. Just a little snoozing doggo. Katie sent in Cookie. God, this picture melts my heart. Brandy sent in her family of ferrets. Look at them, they're all so cute. I love all those little ferrets, they're so great. And to wrap it up, Lucy sent in her 4 guinea pigs. We got Banana Crust, Princess Pancake, Pepper, and Lumi, a glorious family. Alright everyone, that has been our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been Jay Dorena, and remember, don't mess with any curses, because they'll ruin your life. Bye.